Hey, welcome to News, Brews and Gear Reviews, a new weekly segment dedicated to everything that's happening in the world of moto, whilst we enjoy a fine brew. Today we're talking about a whole bunch of new rule changes to the Dakar 2023 rally. Let's get into it. As an ex-motocross racer turned avid adventure bike rider, the world of rally really excites me. You take the excitement and thrill of dirt bike riding, mix it with the grueling discipline of navigation, and on top of it, you throw it over into the craziest terrains over multiple days of riding. It's a really awesome sport. Now, of course, the Dakar is the crown jewel of the discipline. Now in 2023, there's recently been announced a few key changes to the motorcycle discipline. And I think a lot of these are going to be for the better. As AdventurePulse.com reports, Dakar 23 is set to be even tougher with longer, more challenging, and randomly assigned routes. Apparently, this is exactly what fans have been asking for, says race director David Castera. Quote, a longer, more difficult Dakar with more kilometers and more dunes is what we should expect. The Dakar Rally will kick off at the end of this year on December 31st, now with a total of 14 stages plus the opening prologue stage. What's really great about this is now it's going to be going from coast to coast, from the Red Sea to Dammam, without any loops. It also seems they are focusing on the special stages as well this year, making the average length of them around the 450-kilometer mark, while shortening the liaison stages. In total, this will bring the entirety of the special stages to 5,000 kilometers in length, the longest since 2014. But this is where it gets really interesting. A couple of really key changes, particularly for the motorcycles, is really what's going to set this year's Dakar completely apart from the rest. New for 2023, riders are going to have randomly selected road books. In 2023, most of the special stages will be divided into two routes, Route A and Route B. And the road books for those routes will be given at random to the competitors. What this means is that riders will no longer have an advantage coming through the back of the pack, as they won't be able to follow the lines from the leaders, as they might be on a different route. Now in the history, it actually serves as a disadvantage often winning the stage. Having to lead out the next day has a huge time penalty as you're left to navigate all of the untouched terrain by yourself. Whereas if you come from the mid or the back of the pack, you have all of these tracks in front of you that you can double check against your own navigation. Now, of course, this does open us up to one really particular problem, and that is, who's to say that Route A and Route B are evenly difficult? Hopefully the organizers have really thought this through and tried to make them as even as possible, but of course, this is a rally over completely natural terrain. There's no telling what could be in front of the riders. The next key addition to the Dakar 2023 rules is going to be the reward for stage winners. What this means is that the stage winner will be given a time reward for winning that stage. Now there's no word yet as to what that reward will be, how significant that time advantage will be, and I'm sure we'll be updated on that very soon. Now I can see pros and cons to this new rule change. So let's start with the pros. Firstly, this is going to help reward stage winners. Previously, there is no real advantage to winning the stage, apart from the reputation. Winning a stage means you have to leave off first the next day. And leading off first has so many disadvantages. Leading off first means that you have to navigate solely by yourself with no tracks on the terrain whatsoever. It means that you're going to be tackling that terrain far slower to make sure your navigation is pinpoint accurate. Riders coming through the mid or even the back of the pack have a far greater advantage. They can follow the tracks in front of them, carrying far more speed, as their navigation only needs to be a bit of a check over the tracks that are in front of them. Now, some will say that this is actually a really good thing. It means that riders can't just go out and go guns blazing. They have to think strategically about the entirety of the rally over the 2-week period. They can't just go out and try and win every single stage, because it's actually going to result in a time penalty as they keep having to navigate solely by themselves. Instead, they need to think more about the pace that they're riding and keeping themselves in a really strategic spot in the middle of the pack so they can ride with really good pace, keep themselves near the front of the leaders, and then pounce at the end of the rally when time is really crucial. Finally, the last change is switching from paper road books to tablets. Now this one obviously just makes a lot of sense. The other classes of motor vehicles have been running tablets for over the last 7 years. It kind of makes sense that bikes move this way too. Now, perhaps there's a little bit more difficulty in using a road book. Personally, I don't have an experience in using a road book. However, from an event organizer's point of view, I can imagine that the tablet form is far easier for them to organize rather than having to print off all those road books. It also means that if any changes need to be done to the route with short amounts of time, it can be easily updated to the tablets rather than having to worry about those big paper manual road books. Well, that's it. Those are the 3 big changes coming for the Dakar motorcycle riders this year. So let me know in the comments below what you think to these new rule changes, whether you think it's going to be a good thing for the competition, or whether you think that, you know, things how they are works best. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.